British Grand Prix, a weekend of royalty, the red arrows, and some very close wheel-to-wheel racing. Now, let's review the weekend from the point of view of the Sauber F1 team. So let's go back to qualifying. It was changeable conditions, making it tricky for all the drivers, no more so than for Esteban Gutierrez and Adrian Sutil. Adrian Sutil managed to get into Q2, but he went off on the last lap of Q1. What a nightmare. That meant he had to start the race from P16. Esteban Gutierrez got through to Q2 and then he lost control of his car, meaning that he'd end up starting from 14th. But of course he had that penalty from the Austrian Grand Prix, which meant he'd eventually start the race from 20th on the grid. So not an amazing qualifying session for the Sauber boys, but of course it all happens in the race. So what happened? Well, we got off to a good start, and then Kimi Raikkonen put his car into the barriers on the Wellington Straight. He also took out Felipe Massa with him, and there you can see Felipe Massa's rear wheel absolutely shredded. That meant that Massa retired, red flag of the race, and it took almost an hour before they were able to restart it. At the restart, Nico Rosberg, the pole sitter, pulled away from the rest of the field and gained a huge advantage over Jenson Button there. Lewis Hamilton managed to overtake Button. It became a 1-2 for the Mercedes. Then a little bit of manoeuvring going on back down the field, lots of positions being gained and lost. Here you can see Adrian Sutil from Sauber overtaking Jules Bianchi, a good little manoeuvre from him there. And then on lap 10, a nightmare for Esteban Gutierrez. He got tangled up with Pastor Maldonado. There you can see a bit of a lock-up, and then eek. Esteban Gutierrez flings Pastor Maldonado into the air. You can then see he comes down onto the curb, and unfortunately Esteban Gutierrez had to retire. Not great. It was almost a bit like Bahrain earlier this year when the same two came together, but of course that time it was Pastor Maldonado's fault, and it was Esteban Gutierrez that flipped his car upside down. So very reminiscent of that, and what a shame for Esteban Gutierrez, ruining his British Grand Prix for 2014. Somebody who didn't have his Grand Prix ruined was Lewis Hamilton. He managed to take the lead of the race when Nico Rosberg's gearbox failed. What a result for Lewis Hamilton there, crossing the line in front of his home fans, and a very, very happy Mercedes team there too as well. Nico Rosberg grinning and bearing it, I think we'll say. Sauber didn't have the best of races, not too spectacular. As I said, Esteban Gutierrez having to retire, and Adrian Sutil there. He had a strong race, but finishing in P13. Sauber have now got 2 days of testing at Silverstone, so I'm sure they'll be gathering lots of data and looking ahead to the German Grand Prix in 2 weeks' time, which of course is Adrian Sutil's home Grand Prix. So fingers crossed it'll be a strong weekend for the Sauber F1 team in 2 weeks' time. Of course, don't forget to subscribe to the Sauber F1 channel for more of their amazing videos at their factory and on event during race weekends.